What does it mean to live a holy life? Kedoshim opens with Kedoshim to you. You shall become holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. And one would think that would mean that just as God is elevated from this world, we should try to remove ourselves from this world. But immediately afterwards, we have a whole list of mitzvot that are very much about living a life in this world with holiness, with morality. Respect your parents, fear your parents, do the day-to-day mitzvot that bring God into this world. And this repeats itself at the end of the parsha. The end of the parsha, after a long list of the forbidden sexual acts, the Torah speaks about being holy, but it also uses a word, lahavdil, to separate. You shall separate between the pure and the impure. I, God, have separated you for me. I have separated you from the nations. You shall sanctify yourself and be holy. And from the emphasis on separating, one can understand that indeed the obligation is to divorce oneself from this world. And this is the question of whether we are Am Levadad Yishkon, a people who dwells alone, or an Or Lagoyim. We live in this world and we live a life of holiness, a life to be modeled. In a large way, this is also the debate between a yeshivish Haredi approach and a modern Orthodox one. Should we wear clothes, dress in a way, speak in a way, not even in English, in order to keep separate, lest the larger world somehow impurify us, undermine our commitment? Or should we be part of the world and see that while there are a lot of challenges and struggles, there's also a tremendous amount of opportunity to bring Kedusha to our lives? Now, Rav Moshe Feinstein has a fascinating statement, and he says the following. It's well known that the Haredi community has focused on a midrash that says the reason the Israelites were saved from Egypt was because they did not change their clothes, their name, and their language. They kept these external barriers that kept them separate. And Rav Moshe was asked, does that mean I have to wear Hasidic garb? And his answer was no. You can actually dress like the society around you. What about this midrash? He said that was needed as a time before we had mitzvot, and we needed the externals to separate ourselves. But now that we have mitzvot, the life we live, a life of mitzvot, is what creates our sense of holiness and of distinctiveness. And it's in that life that we have to invest, and not in the emphasis of boundaries and separations and external markers. Shabbat Shalom.